All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Communion Table Talk. I'm so excited. This is our second one for our YouTube channel. Say hi to the YouTube peoples. Hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube. So we're here gathered around the communion table, and we're about to talk about some things. I'm so excited for this first one. We haven't had one in a very, very long time, and we just decided, man, like maybe this is the time that we actually come to speak about some things that we've been just battling with, or what we have actually come here to talk about. So the title of the second half of the year, or this portion, is titled "Something Has to Go." In our chase this year, we're doing the 21 chase, 2021. Many of us have been chasing. Many of us have been going after the things that God has called us to do, called us to be. But sometimes in our chase, we tend to, I guess, put on so much on us. Like we tend to carry so many burdens. We tend to just carry so much over the times, like without actually even realizing or noticing. Whether it be more responsibility, emotionally or physically, or like just work-wise type of thing, we tend to kind of carry more. And sometimes, in order for us to be where God wants us to be, to go where God wants us to go, sometimes we need to just let some things go. Sometimes we just need to just let off the burden, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're here around the communion table, and we've got our tea. I've got my tea. The tea. You know what I mean? That's the tea, sis. That's the tea, bro. That's the tea, bro. This is cheers for the tea that's about to be spilled right now. So basically, like when I was thinking about this topic, this title, "Something Has to Go," I was immediately reminded of the story of Peter and the first disciples that were gathered by Jesus. So you guys know the story of the miracle at the sea, where Jesus was looking for disciples, and he went out into the sea. I can't remember the specific name, but this is where Peter and his brother would normally fish, basically. And so this one day, Jesus is out there and he's looking for a place to preach. Basically, it's like he's out there just preaching, doing his Jesus thing. You know what I'm saying? Preaching, doing just being Jesus. And he comes across this sea, this ocean, this beach, and Peter's there. Keep in mind, the day before, Peter and his brother, they were fishing. They were looking for fish all day the day before, but they couldn't catch anything. And then Jesus came along, and he comes and asks Peter, "Can I use your boat to preach on?" And then Peter's like, "Okay, first of all, who are you?" It's like, where do you come from, and why do you want to speak on my boat? And Jesus, being Jesus, is so persuasive. So, you know what I'm saying? Jesus, I'm sure he had a cute face. And I was like, Peter, just let me preach on the boat. But anyway, long story short, Jesus begins to start, and he preaches on Peter's boat. And many people come. Many people come to hear Jesus speak. And Jesus is preaching and speaking, and many hearts are being turned. Like everyone's so captivated by the words of Jesus. Afterwards, Jesus gets off, and he goes to Peter and says, "Peter, go off into the sea and see what you can find." Peter's like, "Bro, I looked. Promise you, I looked. I couldn't find anything. We were fishing the entire day yesterday, and I could not find anything." Jesus was like, push the boat out further into the shore and see what you can find. That's all he said. And Peter's like, "Bro, I told you, man. I don't know. I'm a fisherman. I don't know who you are. I'm a fisherman. I'm telling you, there's no fish. There's absolutely no fish." Jesus like, "Just do as I tell you." And it's like, "Okay, fine, whatever, I'll go." So Peter goes with his brother. They go out, they push the boat into the ocean, and they let their nets down. And lo and behold, there's apparently there's fish there. Not just fish, but gang fish. And so they get so overwhelmed by the amount of fish that they catch. So much so that the boat was actually sinking just because of how much fish that there actually was. So they had to kind of get people just to come help them. And they're there, and they go back to they go back to shore. Peter is in awe. He's like, what the freak just happened? And he's like, immediately there's this guilt and there's this something inside of him is like, man, I'm not supposed to be around this person. So Jesus, flee from me. I'm not worthy of being around you, type of thing. It's like, man, I'm not deserving of, and because immediately he knew who this person was. He knew that this was the Messiah that was spoken about for a very, very long time. And Jesus just says these simple words. He says like, Peter, get up, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And that's all he says. And in that, and that's such a pinnacle moment, not only for Peter, but for many of us that want to follow Jesus. Because there comes a point in time where we're like, man, Jesus, I'm not worthy enough to even know you. I'm not worthy enough to even be in your space, type of thing. But Jesus doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about where you come from. He cares about where you're going. And so it says, Peter, follow me and I'll make you fishers and I'll make you a fisher of men. And right after that, the Bible says that Peter and his brother let go of their nets, let go of everything, and they followed Jesus. That for me says something so important about how we need to be about chasing after Jesus. They literally let everything go. They left everything behind. It's crazy because they just caught gang fish.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't ask them. He said, just follow me. He didn't ask them to let everything go. He didn't ask them to sacrifice everything. He didn't ask them to do so much. All he did, just follow me, type of thing. And Peter them is just like, hey, listen, man. After catching gang fish, they literally decided to leave what they caught to follow what they could find, to follow the greater thing that they could find. And sometimes we're called to let things go in order to chase after the things that we want to chase. And so that's why we're here today. And so when Jesus was meeting Peter and his brothers, they were doing something. They were doing they were doing what they were called to do. They were doing what they thought that they were, that they were supposed to do. They were literally in their purpose. So what are you guys chasing right now? Or what have you been chasing in the year 2021?
I definitely feel that what I've been chasing this year has changed, I guess. I started off this year with 8 goals, and I was like, God, this is what I hear from you and what I feel that, you have assigned for me. And of the 8, I have accomplished 6. And you're all very good. And there were some big things on there, chasing jobs, chasing financial independence. I don't know,
sure.
Lots of big things on there. And what I realized lately is just that even though the list is coming to an end, that's not God's full capacity. So at the moment, I've decided to not go ahead with chasing the rest of the list, but chasing the one who writes the lists for me. And so
sure.
So now I feel like at this point I'd rather chase God himself. I mean, it's definitely what I've been doing from the beginning of the year, but really, my heart posture right now is I want to get to know God more. I want to know the nature of the Father.
Sure.
I want to know what makes him tick and what pleases him.
Sure.
That's what I'm chasing at the moment.
Yeah.
Because essentially I realized that, I think it was earlier on this week, I think yesterday, the verse was given where we're told that we're given everything that we need in order to live, a fulfilled life in Christ. And so because God's given me everything I need, knowing him, I feel like that will help me use and find everything that he's already given me, instead of living in oblivion, I guess, and not knowing, man. Yeah. You need to know and you need to see. And I feel like the only way I'll ever know is through knowing him.
Sure.
Yes.
So good. So good.
So
good. We're chasing you.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like I'm chasing different things. Like Alex, my priorities changed during the year. First off of the year, I was I'm chasing to to be like get out of the house more and be like to like just be more active and stuff like that. Then I just find myself going back into this cocoon or net, and and then I feel like I feel like I'm chasing to be more financially independent, and then I'm just like and then like sometimes once you reach that goal and then you're just like now what? And then it's like and then for me, like my whole life I feel like I've been not my whole life, but like for the life that I personally remember, I've been like chasing God. And it's just like man, I'm just like I'm in a transitional period where just like like what else is there more to offer right now? Like I just want to find out, like, is there more to offer? Is there more I can offer? Like how can I just like serve more, like stuff like that? Like so that's the position that I am. Like that's what I'm chasing. I'm just trying to find out and figure out like what more can I offer?
What more can I do?
What more can I do?
That's such a cool place to be in, because it's like whenever like you're kind of in a place where you want to serve more, I feel like that's where God is saying, I want more of you, type of thing. So like that's kind of like an indicator that like God wants more from you. Not in a very like obligational or contractual way. But it's like, man, like there's more to you that I've planted in you, and I want you to start discovering all of that. And sometimes like we can get so distracted by many things, whereas like if we could just kind of like just zero in and say, man, listen, I want to focus on this, and I want to chase this, and start to find that like everything else is going to come together to work for what you're actually really chasing for. It's like when you know what you're chasing, you know what you're not chasing. And so when you're presented with things that are not supposed to be on your journey, it's much easier to say no, or it's much easier to like focus on one thing, because like, no man, this is where I'm going. This thing is gonna take me left, but I want to go here.
That's right.
And so like that's when you can, and like that's where you can kind of get yourself out of trouble sometimes. Because sometimes you say things like yes to things that you really didn't want to say yes to. Type of thing. I mean, like I've had so many situations where it's like, I used to be a very, like, not used to be, I still kind of am. I want to please people. It's like, so I say yes. Can you help me with this? Yes, of course. I can do it. But then it's like, but then like, I kind of realized that like, I was actually kind of helping other people chase what they've been chasing, which is not a bad thing. But then I wasn't chasing what I was chasing. Or worse, I got too tired to chase what I actually wanted to chase, which sucks, type of thing. Because like we obviously we've been called to help people. We've been called, but like if you are not in a position to help someone, or if you don't have enough energy, if you don't have, because like you must remember, like you have your own journey to run. You have your own race to run. And if you don't have enough energy to run your race, you're not going to go anywhere. Heavy days.
I felt that one.
And that's the tease.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I feel like this year, I feel like I'm chasing my potential. Like I really feel like Buhle said, like there's like God is just been telling me that there's so much more to myself that I haven't even discovered yet. And it's like I want to be better. I want to do better. I don't want to be comfortable anymore. I want to be put in situations that make me uncomfortable so I can grow. For example, like singing alone. Just singing alone. That's like a huge step for me, because I'm not really comfortable in my voice alone. I always feel like I need like a But like I feel like, man, God is just like, dude, now you need to step up,
Sure.
I also want to serve more, like I want to do more for God.
Quick question on that, which is actually the next question. Is like, has there been a time when you have let your comfort stop you from chasing what you want to chase?
I think for me, there's been way too many times I've been like too comfortable with like doubting myself. There's been way too many times when I've been too comfortable in like my self-doubt. Like I'll be like, I want to do something, then I'm like, you know what? But what if I fail? Never mind. I get too used to the fact that hey, there's a possibility that I won't do well. let me rather not. Like I've gotten so used to like doubting myself and not seeing my full potential that even sometimes my thoughts, like my own thoughts, are the ones that are getting in my way. Like there can be like a table, like right now, people say, oh, you're so great, go for it, you'll like prosper, you'll be great, you'll be this, you'll be that. But then like it's your own mind that's telling you, oh, are you really though? Like maybe you shouldn't. So like for me, there's really been like times when actually the only person that was stopping me from reaching my goals was me.
Felt.
Yo. I was thinking earlier that sometimes like our worst enemy can actually be ourselves.
It's true.
My mentor, spiritual father, but like the person that really helped me grow, like he'd always tell me that Buhle, you literally have everything that you need already inside of you, type of thing. Like think about it as, think of a tree, think of a seed. A seed as tiny as it is literally has everything it needs inside of it to become a tree. It doesn't need to go to tree school to become a tree. Like it doesn't need to go to, but it's like it literally has everything it needs to become a tree. And that fascinates me, type of thing, that it's like, and like I was just reminding that you and I, that we are seeds, and we literally have everything that we need inside of us to grow and to bloom and to be the people that we've been called to be.
I feel like chasing can be like so exciting, and like achieving your goals can be so exciting, and it's like, okay, this, what's next, you know, everything can be so fast paced. Like once you're like doing well, once you're achieving like what you thought you couldn't achieve, and then it's like, okay, I can do this, okay, God, what's next? Okay, I got the learners, okay, what's next? Drivers, you know, we're just moving so fast, and we're just moving on to the next all the time, and it's just like, it's exciting to be chasing. You want to be like moving forward all the time, but I feel like the people you surround yourself with play such a huge role on your pursuit, on your journey. So like, even though we're ready to like move so fast, I feel like the people around you can be slowing you down. So like what is slowing your pursuit down? I feel like there's so much you could have accomplished by now, but family, friends, our own like minds can slow us down. What has been something that has been slowing you down or stopping you from reaching the point that you should be at on your pursuit? Whether that's family, friends, there's a lot.
For me, a few years ago, it definitely used to be the people I surrounded myself with, which was the friends. You know, like being in high school now, you want to fit in everywhere, you want to have so many friends. But definitely also doing Holiday Club, you notice how much of an impact you have on others that look up to you. So I think atmosphere and the people you surround yourself with is really important. And it wasn't the best atmosphere that I was in with everybody, that I was trying to like please everybody and I want to be this person's friend, I want to be that person's friend. Like it was rather quantity than quality. But definitely this year, I think it's myself, stopping myself a bit, because I'm stubborn. So I'm always like, I don't need help, I need to do it myself.
Sure.
And just having to accept that, you know, I don't have to fight all my battles, and my battles are already fought, it's done for. Just accepting that. So now and then obviously it's myself that's stop, but
Sure.
Felt that heavy.
Yo, like I think what Mia Carla was saying, was speaking about I had to like I also had to like realize within myself that I don't have to do things alone. And like sometimes I wish I didn't have to deal with people. But then it's like whenever I didn't have to deal with people and I was stuck in my room alone. Like COVID really, like lockdown really made me realize that I need people in my life. And I really, really need people in my life. And not just people, but the right kind of people. Type of thing. And I think like even with this question type of thing is like how the relationships impact like you pursuing what you want to chase, it impacts a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's like it or not, we're all influenced by something. It's like, I know that people say, no, I stand on my own ground and I don't, you get influenced by something. Whether it's your parents, whether it's your friends, or it's social media, you're influenced by something type of thing. Like, you're not born on this earth knowing everything. And you just have that decision to decide, what am I going to be influenced by type of thing. You're going to be influenced anyway, but what am I going to allow to influence? And so it's like, you need to make sure that the people that you surround yourself with are literally chasing, not maybe like the same thing that you're chasing, but in the right direction. Just like in the same direction. It's going to be so difficult. Because like I said, we want to please people. We want to make people happy. And if I'm doing something that's not going to make people happy, I'm going to feel a certain type of way about it. I don't want to do something that's off that people aren't going to be happy about, you know what I'm saying? And so like, it's so important, because like your friends are the people that you're like bringing into your circle, into your life, and they get attached to who you are type of thing, and you become who they are and they become who you are, because you're around each other a lot type of thing. And so who are you becoming? Like, ask yourself the question, like, who are you becoming? I'm not asking the question, but I'm just saying. just like ask yourself the question, like, who are you becoming? Yeah. So
I honestly feel like my image, man. Like, I feel like I'm too conscious about, you know, what I say and how I look and what would happen if I say this. And it's like, just like, I feel like I have so much creativity that I'm just withholding because I'm just so afraid, like fear of judgment of what others would say or others would think, or whether I would look stupid. I really feel like that has really been holding me back. And also like kind of manipulation. I feel like I have let a lot of people, you know, manipulate me like emotionally, and I feel like that has really like held me back, and it's like it's drawn like me into this bubble. It's like I'm like locked, and I'm just like, and I can't get out of this, and it's like I don't know how to. And I find myself in a lot of like friendships where it's just like, if I leave this person, how are they gonna do without me? What are they gonna do to themselves? And I don't want to be responsible for what they go through, you know? It's like you're the reason that they're going through that, because you weren't there for them. And I realized, like, man, you can't be Jesus, dude. You can't, even though I want to be. I try my best to be perfect for everyone, but I really can't, you know, because I am working on my life. I have my own issues, and it's like I'm so like, you know, focused on is this person okay? Oh, how did this go with them? And it's like, dude, what about yourself? Like, I neglect myself a lot for others, and just putting a lot of people before myself, and that's just really held me back a lot. So
just kind of like hop onto that. I was also gonna say, like, something that's been holding me back, I think, is like helping other people, because I want to like take them along on the journey. So it's kind of like, instead of just focusing on what I need to do to get to where I want to be, it's like I'm bringing people along and now like making sure that everyone is fine, like everyone has what they need, like for the race and all of that. But then it's like I end up neglecting my own race in that. And then another thing is also like comparison, like looking around a lot, you know, and like kind of like undermining my value and my worth and what I bring to the table, pun intended. Like just in general, like everywhere, like in all spheres of life, it's just very easy to like look outside of myself and look at what other people are doing and try to kind of like mimic that, or like to be better like than other people, or what they can only do, instead of focusing on what I've been gifted with and what I can only like steward, basically. And I'm kind of like unlearning all of that. And I was saying to Alex today, like, I literally realized, like, another reason why I do that is because I try to control everything. Like, I try to control like how I get to my goals and how like everything happens and stuff, instead of just allowing God to do everything, you know? And like yeah, just allow him to grow me and to
Yeah.
be like in charge of the entire process and stuff.
Sure.
Because like a seed, the seed is not in control of
How
what
it's-
happens
yeah.
around it, like the rain, the sun,
The soil.
the oxygen, everything, you know. But it still grows.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
it's like I kind of like need to also find comfort in the fact that God is like my soil. He gives me everything that I
Sure.
need, and everything around me will just happen, you know, naturally. So yeah.
That's
Hey,
the
that
tease.
analogy.
That is the tease. That's the tease.
Yes, sir.
I've had coffee this whole time. Perfection.
Luta, you were speaking about how like sometimes you would like want to, I guess, push people in the direction that you want to go. Why do you think you do that?
Because I've realized, like personally, like I'm very, I don't know, like I connect with a lot of people from like different backgrounds. So it's like sometimes I'm like, okay, I see you, you're not a Christian maybe, but it's like we connect on another level, and then it's kind of like I wanna like show you God's love and like
Sure.
the joy and everything, and it's like I hope that kind of leads to someone's like not transformation, but like
Yeah.
his way to God, you know.
Yeah.
And then but like I end up clinging on to that person, and actually rather than helping them, it's kind of like I start to take on what they're doing, and then I start to, you know, like that company corrupts basically. Yeah. And now imagine like different personalities, different people with different things, and I'm taking all of that on while still trying to be a Christian and lead
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where it's like I find myself kind of like
Yeah.
not going anywhere,
Yeah.
stagnant, because I'm trying to like take everyone with me, but it's like I'm taking on what they do as well. So yeah.
I feel like what Ruth is saying is so important. I feel like there's been so many times where we allow people into our lives, into our space, and we're on this journey and we have our own worries, we have our own baggage already, and then we allow the wrong people in to our lives, and it's now like you have this person holding your hand or whose hand you're holding and you're both running, but they also have their own baggage. So now it's taking even longer to get there, and you're just taking on all this load from like the wrong people that you're allowing into your space, into your life, to just weigh you down. And it's like, how many times have you chained yourself to something without even realizing? Like how many times have we put chains on ourselves through our people, through our relationships, without even realizing it?
Like we're in a better space now though, but like a couple of years back I was in a friendship, it was booming and everything, and we had a lot in common, vibes, but then somewhere along the lines we got very like codependent vibes. Like we could not stop spending time with each other, and then that became toxic because we started like it's a normal thing in friendships, you get used to each other, you take on each other's mannerisms, like maybe sense of styles, like similar, whatever. But it got to a point where it was like now we were kind of like
The same person.
the same person, and like kind of competing as well, like and just like trying to be like a better vibes. And but like at the same time it's like as much as like there was friction, there was still like that codependency and stuff, and I didn't realize how much that really like was holding me back and dragging me down, because it was really like a big distraction in that year as well, because I think it was grade 8 vibes, you know, I'm in high school and joining a lot of things, whatever, and it literally took away from my high school experience like in that year, because I was so focused on like just trying to break away from this friendship, but it's like, who am I without you type of thing and all of that. So that was something that happened without me realizing. That was a chain that I put on myself.
Sure.
But it's okay now.
It's okay now.
I survived. Yeah.
Do you guys think it's like okay to cut people off?
Yes.
Hallelujah. I feel like for me, I think I've always like found that very difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's like for me, it's like I know that's rude. Why are you cutting people off and you're like that's rude? It's like why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of always like really kind of like try to stay away from having to do that.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd rather just get very busy. It's like, nah, I'm busy. I can't chill.
Yeah.
I'm busy. Type of thing. I was like, sorry, man. Like, I get jam. I'll be genuinely busy, but because like I'm busy on purpose. So I'm like, I would find things to do so that I wouldn't be able to like chill with this person, with that person.
That is cutting off though.
But it's not outdone.
It's not outside.
It's passively
Like I feel you because like I would just like let the friendship drift. Like I would left it like just like I would cut the rope without you noticing.
It's like coming at night, like
and then I'll just like let that person drift. But at the same time, guys, I feel bad for doing that because like some people do need closure. Be like, yo, I'm doing this, like, stand up for yourself, man, sometimes. It's just like, and be like, I'm doing this for this, and this reason, rather than just like, yo, maybe like cutting the rope and letting the person drift. I'm personally like trying to learn how to like, tell a person how it is, like, dude, I can't, like, no. Like, I struggle with the word no. Yeah, and I'm just, that's like one thing like that I was chasing this year, saying no to people, like really, and I feel like I'm coming alright, honestly. I'm coming alright because like I'm genuinely just like I can't, like, and I don't need to give you an explanation sometimes.
That part.
That's just me. Like I
think like that's something that people need to let go of. Like one thing that people need to let go of is expectation type of thing. It's like expectations from yourself and especially from other people type of thing. I mean, I have a friend of mine. We were having this conversation, and she was just telling me about like how she's learned to not expect that much from people anymore type of thing. Because it's like, okay, my mother, you're my mother.
She's watching.
So like my mother says this one thing, and like at first when she said, when she told me, it's like, Ma, why are you so toxic? What's going on? But she was like, Bushe, love people, but never trust people. I was like hating. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean, mother? What do you mean? It's like, dude, like, of course I can trust my friends. Of course I can trust the people that. What do you mean? These people love me. These people, my pastors, the people that I go to youth with together. It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I learned quickly that like, at the end of the day, people perish. People are imperfect. People forget. People get tired. And it's like I've learned that I needed to literally let go of expecting so much from people. And it actually helped me let go of expecting so much from me, or thinking that people are expecting so much from me as well. Kind of because we spoke about friendships and relationships, like how does your family impact, or like how does like the setup in your family impact your chase in life type of thing?
Yeah, you could have just asked me, Alex. Don't go around the corners. Just come directly. So for myself, I think something that was very, something that really sparked my growth and really allowed me to have a good stride in my chase this year was my family support. I think that growing up, just trying to be a people pleaser and just being afraid to come out of my own it kind of made me just want to be who I thought my parents wanted to be. And so I took up things that I didn't necessarily want to do. I served in the ways that I thought would be acceptable to them. And so with that, I was fine, I was cool, but there was almost like a resentment that grew, like, who could I have been if I didn't? Who could I have been, or who am I even? Who am I, outside of this? And so for a very long time, I've spoken to like a lot of people who feel about it. A lot of people who are close to me know that it's something that I battled with, because I knew that it wasn't like anything that my parents did. And so for me this year, I've learned how to like stage interventions. I'm really good at them, guys. I'm good at the can we meet in the middle in the living room? Like I'm good with that. You know, the drama of it, the suspense. And so having those open conversations with my parents have allowed me, like for example, to serve on worship. You know, with their full permission. And I feel like worth the wait to everything like with regards to just serving on worship. It couldn't have been fruitful if I still had that baggage, if I still had to hold on to that. So what I've learned is to allow God to move, you know, in my life, even when it doesn't necessarily feel comfortable. I remember coming home from a service that my dad, he was like preaching there, he was dropping the truth bars, you know, and I was like, oh, okay, then you're actually quite cool, okay, cool. And I came home and I could have very well just went back to bed and said, right, it's another day with this baggage, and I mean, I've had it for so long. Let's do it again tomorrow. And literally on a random 10 o'clock, my parents are making tea on their way to bed. That's when God prompted me to do it. And it was like you need to do it now. And so in being obedient, when he says that, like when God's quiet, when he says it quietly, it's not necessarily this loud voice. It's almost given me the confidence and almost that stamp of approval that like, having these conversations and like being open about it and involving them in my walk, involving them in my chase, it's something that will now be God ordained because he's really ushering me into that. And so so being able to serve, imagine your parents said, no, you can't be here tonight.
Sure.
Now you must say, I'm going to the bathroom or I'm going outside quickly. Now you must run here. Quick, guys. I don't know, maybe you live around the corner. And now you need to, okay guys, quickly. Okay, I said I'll be back in 15 minutes, right? So it's a whole other pressure added onto you.
Yeah.
So I think
and
that...
it's so unnecessary.
Exactly. And because it's something that, you know, becomes part of your lifestyle, what you chase, I think it's important. Otherwise, you're always going to be someone else to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sure.
That was a lot that I said.
Heavy.
And that's on growth.
I feel like I definitely like agree with what you're saying. Something I've had to have also something that I've had to learn as well is I've had to like really, cause like I'm the person that thinks outside the box. Everything I do is literally outside of the box. It literally doesn't make sense to a lot of people, whatever. But more specifically, my parents. My parents have gone through the most with me. Shem. I went from wanting to be a rapper in high school to, you know, just doing things. And so like what I've really learned, like with what Alex is saying, like it's so important to like bring your parents onto your journey because it makes life so much easier type of thing. Because like, for example, just practically speaking, they're the one that take you everywhere you want to go. They're the one that pay for everything that you want to do. So they kind of have a control over you. So if you can like sway them into hearing what you're about and what you want to do and bring them into your journey, it's going to be so much easier type of thing. But then like I asked myself this question, like, what about the people that don't have such approving parents? What about the people that don't have parents? They're living with their aunts, their uncle, they're living with their adopted people. Because like I know that I've spoken to some people, it's like they feel as if, man, I don't feel as if I have enough leverage to speak to this person because they're not my mother, they're not my father. So it's like I feel like I can't speak. How can those people maybe like should they just let go of the idea of I'm not a son or I'm not a daughter type of thing? Like what do we say to those people?
I am one of those people. But yeah, like with my like relationship, like with my, I don't want to say foster parents, but yeah, like my uncle and aunt, I had to just realize that they are like my current parents basically. Like, you know, like they have been chosen by God to take care of me and to basically take up that role. So yeah, it wasn't easy at first, but then I had to learn to just let them be parents and like just kind of bridge a gap between me like not being like the direct son and all of that. And I guess the best thing to do is just to learn how to communicate properly, and to be as transparent as possible. Because if you're not, then it leaves a lot of room for like gray areas where it's like you now, like it leads to situations like that where it's like now you kind of scared to ask for permission to do things and then you lie and then you know, and then it ends up being like sticky situations and stuff like that. When you could have just asked and then could have been something that you wouldn't have expected, like an answer, like a yes or something, to something you probably would have thought would have been like a no or whatever. So it's just like communication and just getting comfortable with being uncomfortable and having uncomfortable conversations with them. Like it just makes stuff easier.
Sure.
And like one more thing that I also completely agree with what Butle said and what Alex said and what Lucha says. And like one more thing, like that what I thought is like maybe like letting your parents like show them what you actually do. And be like maybe they'll be more accepting of it. Like maybe like show them like this is actually a good thing. This is actually helping me grow. This is actually impacting me in this way. Like more than you see just at home. Because it can really help like with approval, with stuff like that. And it can,
because like the one thing about parents, they want to see it. They're like, fully born, I want to see it. EP, where is this thing that you're doing? Don't tell me ideas and dreams and aspirations. I don't know. We want to see, does it make money? You know what I'm saying? But like they want to see it like materialize. Sometimes that kind of requires for you to hustle and grind behind closed doors. And that requires for you just to keep quiet about some things and just like push and just push and push and push and push and like show them, hey, listen, this is what I've been doing, this is what I did, and this is what came out, type of thing. Can you please give me 500 rand? Mike, you know what I'm saying? So like what you're saying, like it's so important. Like show them this is what I've been doing and this is what it's going to do for me, type of thing. Like take some time, think about the things that you want to do, and actually do them and then show them. Because they just want to see it. They just want to see it, not just ideas and. I mean, like I've like some people would do like PowerPoint presentations. So parents, this is what I want to do.
You want it came to diamond age.
You know what I'm saying? It's like this is what I want to do. But guys, as we kind of close, last question that I want to ask is that what has been encouraging you to keep on chasing? You can start with me, Akana.
What has encouraged me? Jesus, you know, just I think I said in the last one as well, the last table talk, is that I get to wake up every morning to a new day, and that means something. Every day there's something little I should do, there's something big I should do. So just knowing that, okay, I might have a bad day today, but tomorrow Jesus is going to wake me up again, and I'm going to have something to do, and everything's going to be okay. And that's just been keeping me going, knowing that again that I'm not facing anything alone. That He is there, and that you know it's gonna work out in the end, and great things are gonna happen in the end. So that's really been encouraging me and keeping me going.
Awesome.
For me, it's just been evidence of what I've already, come across along the way as I was chasing. Like you tick off one goal, you're like, okay, and then it becomes 3, and you're like, surely the next goal. So like for myself, those 8 goals, 6 of them have been accomplished. You can't tell me there isn't a God that won't allow me to accomplish the next 2. So I think that's what really keeps me going, the evidence of God's goodness so far.
Sure. I think on that, I think for me as well, like remembering what God has done. And like, no, He can do it again. And like I think also just for me, just like remembering what God has done. And also just being so aware of His presence in every moment, even in the chaos, He's there, type of thing. And like when I kind of realize that something clicks in me, like no man, because greater is He who's in me than he who's in the world. And when I'm aware of that, like nah, man, easy.
For me, it's growing to the person that I want to be and what I think Jesus expects out of me. That's what's keeping me up right now. what's keeping me running and that's what I'm chasing. I just want to grow into a person that Jesus would be proud of.
Sure.
And
Sure.
be like, and that I can be proud of as
Yeah,
well.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's really
that's
good.
just
Mine is quite simple. Just knowing that there's a perfect plan for my life, just knowing that He has a perfect plan, just that certainty, knowing that there's someone there, just knowing that He has His perfect will and His plan for my life. So I know that I'm cool. I just need to obey and just follow Him. And yeah, that's all I need. Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's me. For me, I think it's also just very simple. It's not that simple. But I think for me, it's just, basically just the evidence for me to be able to go back to my journal on this day 2 years ago, how much pain I was in, how worried I was, how much anxiety was on my heart, how much heaviness, and me thinking, it ends here. I can't get past this point. It's never gonna get better. And now being like, girl, what were you going through? What was happening? Because you're in such a better place now.
Yeah.
And it's for me, it's just the evidence that there was once a time when I thought I'd never make it past this, and now I even forgot that I was even once in that period. So for me, it's just the certainty of how God really was always working, even in the little things, and how I just remember, for me, it's just the memories. The memories of the times I went to sleep praying about something. Next morning I forgot I prayed about it, but then I'm reminded when God actually does it. So for me it's just the certainty and realizing how consistent God has been in my life. Even though my pain has been heavy and has been a burden, God is stronger. And even though life is consistently hurting you, God is consistently loving you.
Sure.
God is consistently
Sure.
waking you up.
Sure.
God is consistently providing for you and your family and giving you the breath that's in your lungs. So,
For me, what's kept me going is trusting God's divine timing and just trusting, like Georgia said, His plan for me, and just knowing that whatever my heart desires, if it's meant for me and if it's a part of God's plan, it will be given to me. And when it's not, it's still working for my good. Then that means something else is going to happen for me, because his thoughts are higher than what I see now. His thoughts are greater than mine. So whatever I don't receive, it's still fine. I'm going to receive something else that's part of God's perfect plan. So just trusting that.
Yeah.
And trusting that no matter what happens, good or bad, it's still going to work out for good. Yeah.